Hello, beautiful ladies, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be talking about 7 ways to be an incredibly classic woman. A few months ago, I did a video called 5 Ways to Be More Classic, and I'll link that up above here. But the reason I did that was because I talk about being classic all the time, but I thought I should give you guys some sort of guide to how to be a more classic woman. And today I thought I would give you 7 more ways to be classic. And I'd love to make this into a series. I think there's a lot of different ways that we can be classic. I think I could do a series just about how to do your makeup in a classic way or how to dress in a classic way, but I really like the idea of there are some basic things that we as women can do to be the most classic version of ourselves. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is to eat like a lady. Now, I think that if you want to be a classic woman, eating like a lady is very high on the list. So what does that mean? Well, it definitely means a few things. I think the first thing is to eat in a way that's mindful and healthy for your body. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't ever order a burger or that you can't have a slice of cake every now and then. Absolutely not. I have a really bad sweet tooth, so I'm not saying that you can't indulge in that every so often or even more than every so often, but it really comes down to trying to eat in a way that's healthy and mindful for your body most of the time so that you're actually taking care of yourself, because that is the most classic thing, is taking care of yourself. But outside of what you're actually eating, let's talk about the way that you eat. Something I think is really important and something I've been made more aware of getting married is burping. Burping is not ladylike at all. When I was in college, I used to think it was hilarious to burp really loudly, and it wasn't until I decided that I wanted to be more of a classic woman that I realized, you know what? That's not a ladylike thing to do. It's kind of gross. No one wants to hear it, and it's kind of only funny to you. So burping is one of those things that if you can avoid it, do, and if you can't, burp into your hand or into your napkin so that it doesn't draw attention to itself. I say this because I have a little bit of trouble with burping. If I drink anything that has carbonation for some reason, I burp a lot, so I have to be really careful about this. So this isn't something that I say, oh, it's easy, don't burp. It's not about actually burping, it's about drawing attention to your burping and making it like a whole thing. Don't do that. Not ladylike. Another way you can eat and be more ladylike is putting a napkin on your lap. Putting a napkin on your lap will make it so that if you spill, it doesn't get on your dress or your pants, and that's not something that you have to deal with later. And also it just kind of looks like, hey, I take care of my clothing, I take care of myself, and I don't want to get food on me. So of course anybody can spill, so it's really just taking precautions. Eating like a lady is kind of outdated in a lot of ways. You see a lot of these kind of female empowerment things all about eating whatever you want, whenever you want, and eating like a slob. And I just hate the whole idea of that. Of course, you're hanging out with your husband, it's a late night, you guys are watching a movie together, yeah, you're gonna eat pizza in your pajamas, but most of the time, if you're dating, or even if you're around people that you're friends with, you don't really wanna be the kind of person who's getting pizza sauce on your pajamas. It's not really a ladylike thing. You want to be the kind of woman that if a man wants to take you out to a fancy restaurant for date night, he's not worried that you're not going to know what to do. One of the things that's probably not necessary, but I just absolutely love, is the whole idea of elegance and kind of knowing what fork goes with what. So one of the fun things you can do if you want to invest time in ladylike manners is learning what each of the pieces of cutlery is for when you have a full set out on the table. So basically, you mostly just want to work your way in. So whatever's on the outside is what you start with. So that's what the first course is for, and then the next course. And I think that if there's a spoon on the top of the plate, that's for dessert. So that kind of stuff, kind of fun to know, makes you feel more like a lady if you're out at a fancy event and you're worried about it. And it's kind of just something nice, makes me think of Downton Abbey. And I personally loved that show, so I would absolutely love to know which fork goes with which course. My next piece of advice is to find a hobby. Now, I have a whole video about feminine hobbies and classic hobbies, and I just absolutely love the idea of having something that you want to invest your time in because you just enjoy it. It's a very classic thing to have interests and not just to kind of waste your time on your phone because, hey, I'm the first person to say that I waste time on my phone. So that is not a criticism. That is a recognition of it's a very attractive thing to want to do. You want to be on your phone all day. But having feminine and classic hobbies is something that is just a beautiful thing for a woman to do. You have these passions, these interests, and you know a lot about them, or they're very calming and you have something to show for your work at the end of the day. I think that gardening or sewing or painting, writing, drawing, all of those kinds of things, if you find one of those things is interesting to you, really taking the time to learn about it, get better at it, practice it, maybe even picking up an instrument. All of those things are just so classic, and they'll make you more of a classic woman because it's so nice to go out to lunch with someone who has a bunch of interests, who knows a lot about things. Actually, funnily enough, my husband has so many interests, and that's one of the reasons I absolutely love going to lunch with him. I feel like we're never going to run out of things to talk about, and being the kind of woman who has a lot of interests, who invests time into her passions and spends time on her hobbies, that'll make you a really classic woman. Number 3 is take care in designing your home. Now, I love interior design. I think it is so much fun, and I love how much of a difference one couch can make from another. And so I think one of the things that's very classic is spending time and thinking about what will make your house a home and how to make it beautiful, welcoming, and very much in your style, and not just picking up the easiest thing that you can and not really putting any thought into it. I do want to say, of course, we all shop at IKEA, so it's not to say that it has to be expensive. It just means don't pick up the first thing that's there and it's just utility. You want to pick up things that are actually going to fit together so that when people walk into your house, they can tell that you put thought into it and that you actually care about what goes on your walls or what you put your books into, or if you have a chest, maybe it has some meaning to you. And all of those things will make your house look and feel classic and will make people want to come again and again. Having a home that's really welcoming, well thought out, very much your personality, and it's reflected in your furniture, your art, everything around you, is just going to make it feel like you actually know who you are and what you want and what your house to look like. So having a classic home and really taking the time to make it feel like yours and really just thinking carefully about each piece that you bring into your home is going to make your home feel so much more classic and so much more you. Number 4 is wear jewelry. I love jewelry. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I do. I love jewelry. I think it is so much fun, and I love being able to pick out certain things every day. But sometimes jewelry is not people's favorite thing. If you are not the kind of person who loves jewelry and who really just needs something that they can put on and never think about, that is absolutely fine. But just taking the time and picking out those pieces that you really love and that will add to your wardrobe and make you feel more feminine and classic, it always makes you look like you've put in just a little bit more thought into your outfit. If you have a whole outfit on but no accessories, it doesn't necessarily feel like it's completed. But if you have on a pair of earrings, or you picked a purse that matches, or you have a nice pair of shoes on that really goes, that really makes it look like you have thought about the entire thing from head to toe. And that is very, very classic. If you're the kind of woman who doesn't want to think about your jewelry, then just get a small pair of maybe silver hoops and you can just keep them on forever. You don't even have to think about it. And you can sleep in them, which is also really nice. And another thing you can do if you don't really care so much about your accessories is just a small silver necklace or gold necklace that won't tarnish or make your neck turn green. Those kinds of things will go with pretty much everything and will look really nice just over time. It makes it look like you've invested that little bit of extra time to make sure you look completely classic. And if you're more into accessories, let's talk about it. Leave it in the comments below. What are your favorite kinds of earrings, necklaces? Do you like big statement necklaces? Do you like hoops or dangly earrings? Oh my gosh, I love jewelry. I love jewelry so much. And you can choose things that go with the outfit for each thing. So you can have bigger earrings if you're wearing something that's a little bit more understated, or you can have smaller earrings if you're wearing something that's very showy, and it will just match. So that also works. And you can have just a lot of variety in your jewelry wardrobe. Now, my last piece of advice for wearing jewelry is wearing a watch. I think wearing a watch is like the most classic thing you can do as a woman. I love wearing watches because think about it like this. When you're at dinner with somebody, you don't want to pull out your phone when you're sitting with them to check the time. If you're wearing a watch, you can just subtly glance to see what time it is, and they don't even know. There's a lot of great things about having a watch on. You don't have to grab your phone, which immediately turns into a distraction. You don't have to check your phone at the table, which can be rude. You just have something on that you can check the time. and it's a really pretty accessory piece. You can find a few if you like changing out your accessories, or you can just find one that goes with everything. And I love watches. I think that they go with pretty much every outfit, and you'll never regret having one on. Number 5 is learn to be good with children. This is such a big one. I think that a lot of women nowadays are scared of having kids, and it is so classic and feminine if you are good with children. It's never going to be a bad thing for you to be good with children. So if you are afraid of children, you should learn to face that fear and hang out with them. They're actually really fun. Babies are so cute. And if you're just at someone's house, they really don't take that much attention at all because they really just need to sleep in your arms. Of course, if you actually have a baby, that's a whole different story. You have to clean after them, wake up with them in the night. But if you're just at someone's house and you know that you're a little bit anxious about children, ask if you can hold a baby. And then as they get a little bit older, 2, 3, 4, kids are really fun. You can play games with them, tell stories. Just learning how to act around kids so that you feel more confident when you are going to be a mom is a lovely thing. And also, it's attractive to men if you know how to hang out with kids. It's not saying that you necessarily have to love hanging out with kids that aren't yours, because a lot of women don't have fun with kids until it's their own. But being good with kids, being able to handle being around kids is really important as a woman. And like I said, it's never a bad thing. It's just a thing that you should be comfortable with because you're gonna be around kids in your life. It's gonna happen. Even if you decide not to have children, you're gonna be around kids in your life at some point. So being afraid of them, probably not the best idea. Being good with them will end up being really a good thing for you and will make you a very classic woman. Number 6 is be a good hostess. And I mean that if you're having a meal or if you're having guests. Being a good hostess is so important, and I love hosting, so maybe I should do a whole video about it. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see a whole video about how I like to host, if I'm having guests sleeping over, or if we're just hosting a lunch or a dinner or something. Let me know if you guys would like to see something like that. But being a good hostess is so classic, and there are so many great ways you can do that. Just making people feel welcome in your home and keeping a clean home when people come over. That is so important, and I think it's something people discount. But when you walk into a house that's messy, I know that I feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'm like, are they prepared for me to come over? Are they a little bit busy? Should I really be here? But if I walk into someone's home and it's clean, then I know that they were expecting me and I know that they were prepared. So if you are hosting people, do the same courtesy to them, keep your house clean for them, and just imagine if you were staying at someone, all the little amenities you would like to have. So when we have people over for dinner, I like to offer a glass of wine just to set people at ease right away. And I like to tell them that if they need anything, they can absolutely come and ask me. And I like to set the table in a really beautiful way, that kind of thing. Or if we're hosting people for staying over and they're going to be sleeping here, we like to keep that room really clean and welcoming and having a cup of water available for them if they need it. Almost as if you were hosting at a hotel or a bed and breakfast, what people would like to have. Because hey, sometimes it's awkward to ask if you can have a towel or something, but if it's already out for you, then you don't even have to worry about it. So even leaving a little snack for them if you think that they're going to be spending a lot of time in their room, and just making people feel welcome and at home. Because there is a chance when you're staying at someone's house, it can be a little bit awkward. You're taking up a lot of space in someone else's home. But if you make it clear that you don't feel like they're taking up space, that you want them there, that you're prepared, that's a really good way to make people feel comfortable. And that will make your guests feel like they're staying in a classic lady's home. My last piece of advice, and I am saying this to myself, so I'm not just saying it to you guys, is get off your phone. Getting off your phone is the first step to being classic. Your phone is a distraction pit, and I know it because I'm staring at my phone right here and I have it on airplane mode so that the mic doesn't get messed up. But I know myself how easy it is to waste time if you're on your phone all the time. And one of the best things about being alive is all of the other experiences we get to have. So if I'm going for a walk, I actually have to work hard to convince myself not to take my phone with me and listen to a podcast. Maybe I just want to take in nature. And that is so nice when you actually do it. And turning off your phone sometimes just to read or to draw or whatever it is such a relief. Your brain can disconnect from social media, disconnect from all of the stuff that's distracting you, and just really focus. Now, if you want to use your phone to play music, that I think is fair enough, and I understand it, but it's sometimes just having your phone on at all can be the major distraction. So consider taking some time off during the day and keeping your phone in the other room or turning it off so that you can actually focus on something without that pull towards the distraction of your phone, so you can do all of the other things that make you classic. So you can read or go to museums or play the piano or whatever it is that makes you feel really classic. The phone is not going to help with that. Now, as I said before, I struggle with this. I try to stay off my phone as much as possible, but I actually am not great about it. So I am constantly working on this. But I know that the days that I don't go on my phone as much, I actually feel like more of a classic woman. So let me know in the comments if you struggle with your phone, if you feel like you waste too much time on your phone, because hey, we all do. I know that I do. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please subscribe to my channel and blog if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to get notified of all my new videos. Hit that like button. Head over to Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook and follow me there. Please head over to classicallyabby.locals.com if you'd like to support my channel, see more of this content, and be part of our community. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!